Hi, my name is Una. I go by Olitha Art on all my socials, and today I'm going to work through all the Inktober prompts that I haven't had a chance to finish. I have been working through the Inktober 52 prompt list this year. My goal is to do all of them, even if it does take me some time. Everything got kind of chaotic while I was moving back from college, so that's why I haven't finished these ones. I have 7 here that I want to finish today. So here's those 7. I am not gonna go in order. I already tried to do pup once. I'll insert a picture here. I just wasn't happy with my first attempt, so I'm gonna skip over this one and instead we're gonna start with fungi. So first up, quick disclaimer, I definitely did not know where my head was in the camera point of view. So there's gonna be some of me ducking my head in there. I'll get the hang of it. So I just wanted to do something simple for this one. I really enjoy working with patterns for Inktober and kind of just doing more abstract stuff. So this one I'm just combining a couple of patterns that I really enjoy and doing a kind of simple mushroom. I've used a couple of different kinds of pens for when I'm working on Inktober. Right now, I've been using the Pigma Sensei ones in 04, 06, 03, and 10. And then I almost always use this brush pen I have. I think it's the Tombow brush pen. It's amazing. And then beyond that, I have a kneaded eraser and a mechanical pencil. And my sketchbook is a Canson multimedia sketchbook. So to further introduce myself, I am an animation student right now looking to get my degree in computer animation. I'm a huge Looney Tunes fan, and some of my favorite animated movies are Intergalactic, WALL-E, and all the Spider-Verse movies. I've been drawing since as long as I can remember, and then in high school I started doing a lot more paintings, and then I started doing some more digital art. And then in my last year of high school, I realized I was really interested in animation and that I wanted to pursue it. So just finishing up here, I use this bubble pattern or this kind of circle bubble pattern a lot, and I really enjoyed doing it in this drawing. And yeah, I was pretty happy with the final result. Here is the final picture that I'm going to post on my Instagram, which, by the way, is also called Olitha Art if you want to follow me over there. Now we're going to move on to Gemini. I have a lot of art goals this summer, one of them being working on Inktober and trying to keep up with that. I'm also working through the Animator's Survival Kit and doing all the different exercises in there so that I can really improve on my basics for when I go back to school. And then finally, I want to work on writing some treatments, which are the step before a script for an animation. I was definitely going for an abstract thing again with this one. I wanted to do some more patterns, and I was still kind of getting into the flow of drawing. These Inktober drawings are often short for me, and I want to do experimentation or basics and just work on stuff that I usually don't have the time to work on. Often that means working with line weight and shapes more than composition and figures and things like that. I really enjoy Inktober because it kind of forces me to focus on stuff I don't always focus on and gives me the space to make mistakes and be okay with them. I definitely do a couple of different tries with some of the prompts. Sometimes it just doesn't work out how I thought, but I like that I get to experiment. Next up, I'm working on the prompt Spur. I didn't really know what to do with this. A lot of people were doing detailed horse drawings, and that just didn't sound like something I was super into. So I did more of a kind of abstract interpretation. was really excited about the next prompt due. I had a really good kind of abstract, surreal idea, and I'm still really happy with what I did. I just don't think it came out exactly as I had originally intended. The next prompt is solstice. At the time, this was the most recent prompt that had come out, but since I'm doing these out of order, it won't be the last one that I do. I was excited about this one because the first thing that came to mind was a drawing I did for Inktober a couple months ago where the prompt was sunrise, and I wanted to do something similar but stick with the solstice theme. We're finally circling back to the prompt pup. I really struggled with this one originally. I love dogs and I couldn't figure out which one to draw, and when I did, I didn't like what I drew. So this time I decided to riff off of something that I did a couple weeks or maybe months ago now. I did this animation for one of my classes of this little dog twirling around and wagging his tail, so I did just a sketch of him and then inked over it. I don't really have any permanent original characters or anything like that I draw consistently, so I'm trying to develop some, and this dog has kind of been one of the first ones that I spent a lot of time on and drew a lot of times, so I'm trying to keep him in the rotation of things I draw. We're finally on the last prompt, dragon. For this one, I considered drawing like a full dragon, but I just didn't really have any super inspired ideas for it, so I decided to instead draw a dragon wing. And with this last prompt, we come to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what I do here, please subscribe, like the video, and if you want to see more from me, please follow me on Instagram. Have a great day.